What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, and I am going to do something cool here. I hope it's going to come out cool. This is my Roper hunting knife. This thing, extremely thick, extremely blurry right now. Once we get into focus, we can talk about this thing. Look at this knife, man. This Roper is phenomenal. This blade is strong, 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 strong. For you smaller-handed people, you would absolutely love this. For me, it's a little on the small side as far as the grip, but my hands are, 10 1/4, and this is not. However, the knife is so awesome, so sweet, that I don't really care, because it still has enough to get an absolute firm and great grip out of there. You're not pulling it, pushing it, wiggling it out of my hand for nothing, no matter what the size grip it is. This thing works really well. You got the decorative pins. You got to see the video I did on this knife. I'm not doing a video on the Roper. What I'm doing is a video on the color of this steel. Now, one really beautiful design area is right here. You see the steel is all the way through. It is just one great big hunk of awesome steel. But here's the thing, when you use them a lot, and this is one that I do use a lot, and you'll notice it's been sanded a little bit, and that's because I had a pretty long weekend out where I left it wet, and I started getting some oxidation on it because it is like I think it's a 1065 high carbon. So it can, get some coloration issues. So I figured, why not chase down that issue by antiquing it? And that's what I want to try to do today. You all know what gun bluing is, that blue gun look, gunmetal color. I want to do that to this. So I already went over it with some extremely fine sandpaper to get off all the oils that I could. And then, of course, I just touched it while I was showing you. But what I want to do is just clean off the steel, the fingerprints I just put on there. And I want to try and blue this. I've never blued my own knife before, but I'm going to give this one a whack because I love using it. And I thought, because I scratched it a little bit, how cool would it be to add some really nice antique look to it? And you could see this blade already, even brushed up the way it is, it's still cool. But I'm going to use some Super Blue. This is by Birchwood Casey. This is what we're going to try and blue the knife with. I'm just going to grab a rag, which I just used, and I'm going to throw some blue on there, and I'm going to go over this blade and see if we can't get this thing to color up. And since I've never done any knife bluing before, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. So this could be a trial and error type thing, but we're going to figure it out. I don't know how long it takes or how much it takes to get a knife blue, but it says that oh wow, that's immediate bluing. It says that it works on all high carbon blades or blades with carbon content in it. So if you have a like a stainless steel blade with no carbon, like a 420, don't expect to get any bluing if you plan on trying this. And so far I'm looking and I'm seeing bluing on the steel, which I really am liking to see. So I don't know if I just have to let it dry or if I wipe it, but you can see some color already jumping into this thing, and it's going to give it that, hopefully, that real sweet antique blue. So we'll go, I'll try and just do one side first so you can see the stainless, a nice shine, and then we are going to test that. So what I want to do is wipe the wet and see if that's wet or if that's actually bluing yet. And it is, it's bluing. This thing is coming out really cool. So what I want to do is I'm going to throw some more blue on there. I'll tell you what, man, if this works, It's going to be a really cool way to decorate some of those old shiny knives you have, like some of the Cisco's, to just add a little something cool to them. I can see that being pretty badass. And I'm going to go all the way down this thing and see if I can't blue all the steel. Look at that, the spine is right away. Right away it's bluing. And that, my friends, is pretty cool. I do like that. I want to do the finger guard. If this works, I'm going to be pretty happy. And holy mackerel, it is working. I can see right away before I hit the crossbar. Look at that. Holy moly. So this is exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. Look at this. That is sweet. So I have this really, really nice antique-y blued look right there going on. And I don't know if you have to do a couple coats, but I think I'm going to. I'm going to even try to wipe it, really, really press into there. Man, that is nice. And look at that, guys. Look at that. That is coming out sweet. What it did look like. All right. I think one of my dogs farted. What it did look like. And I got a little spot on there you could see, so you could already see it bluing like the chain. I just touched it. It's already bluing. What it is looking like. Man. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side so I can get this whole thing. I don't want to let it sit too long like that. Ooh. Alright, so this stuff works. I am appreciating this color. I mean, the Roper already started out as a pretty cool blade. If I can make it pretty cooler, I'll be happy with that. Man, the bluing took so fast to right there. Look at that. That was shiny, shiny, shiny. That was practically chromed before I started. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. That is coming out really cool. So I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to do the same thing to one of my Cisco blades. One of my Cisco buoys. Because I made it a brushed look, which is cool. But I really want, and I think the more you put on there, the more coats, wow. The more, look at that, it's so dark. I don't even know if it's going to pick up the actual color that I'm seeing to what you guys are going to be able to see. But it is so dark. It looks like one of my reproduction Civil War guns. That's exactly what this color looks like. Man. Woo. I gotta say, I'm having a positive mental reaction right here. This thing is cool, man. So now I'm going to use the dry part of this rag. Just brush it across and see what we have. See if anything changes by drying it. Oh my gosh, it's practically black. Look at that. Guys, you see that? I think it's picking up the color. That is blued. Holy Moses. Holy Moses. Oh my goodness. Super blue. Really super blues. I mean, it really... Okay, I got a piece stuck right there that I didn't really get. Right? You could almost see. And then compare it. Look at this. That is gun blued. You have got to be kidding me. This looks phenomenal. That looks phenomenal. So I started out with a shiny blade. It doesn't take away the edge. It doesn't take away the steel. So, you know, it was my fault. I didn't have oil with me, and I used it for a long weekend. And I let it sit. It was wet in the sheath. I didn't completely dry it. It was a completely rainy weekend. So it was my fault that I oxidized it a little bit. But I got it home. I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up really nice. Got rid of all the brown. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I could blue this. And you know, I heard about this stuff, you know, from other forums, and I thought, you know what, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. And hold on a second. Hold on. Just for the sake of checking. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, I did this blade over. it was really scrappy looking. Right now it's covered in oil, but it was really, really scrappy looking, and I was like, hell no, I gotta fix that. So I did. And right now it's covered in oil, so what I might have to do is just go dry it, and then put you guys on pause, dry this thing, come back to it. That knife blued so well, I think I want to blue this one now. Because this one, you could see the job I did on it. It came out really cool. If you looked at my original video and you saw how patchy it was, this thing came out really cool. I wanted that brush look, and I got the brushed look. It is awesome. This Cisco Bowie is just tremendous. But I want to blue. I want to blue the Bowie. So hold on a second. I'm gonna dry it off a little better. All right. So this stuff worked really well on a polished blade. I want to see. I mean, yeah, on a highly polished blade. I want to see how it's gonna work on a brushed blade. And you can see the color difference. This is, oh man, that came out really, really cool. Very, very happy with that. Let's test it. Let's test it on the big guy right here. All right, so let's get my rag back. Let's put some blue on there. Now, the Cisco blades are high carbon blades, so it should blue. Let's see. Oh, it's starting to blue like immediately. I think that the more carbon you have, the either more or faster it's going to blue. I think the more it's going to blue. So you can get it like that blade right there, that Roper is a high carbon blade. So that's why that is just, oh man, I can literally see it's like almost browning in certain areas right now. Look at that. You can start to see it coming through. So a couple of coats on this one, and hopefully I can make it as cool as the other one. And look at that. I just pushed really hard. I got a dark line in there. All right, I'm going to work on this one, and I'm going to press pause, and I'm going to show you to see if it comes out as cool as this one is. So hold on. All right, guys. All right. So let's start with the Roper and how this thing turned out. This thing completely blued. It has a very, very high carbon content in it. You saw that this thing used to be polished, right? You see the difference in color, right? That's what it was. That's what it is. Look how dark that got. It is literally looking like a gun barrel. Just gorgeous. I'm thinking I was, wondering if it was going to look good or not. And I have to say that this right here, this I think looks better than new. I really, really like that gun blued look. I think it came out really good. So now this is a very high carbon content. So it took really well and really fast. The Cisco, on the other hand, while carbon based, isn't as high. So as I started doing it, I'm going to show you. As I started doing it, it began targeting certain areas. And if I keep going over and over and over again, then what it's going to do, it's going to coat the whole thing. But I got to a certain point as I'm doing it, and it literally took me about 2 minutes. So when I'm talking about it, it didn't take forever. But I got to this one point, and I'm going to show you. And as I'm going over it, I hit there, and I'm like, holy crap, that looks awesome. Now remember, this blade looked brand new when I started. So this isn't aged rusty, and this is just fake patina, right? So I started doing that, and I started working a technique where I was pushing into the edge, and that's where I was getting that, and I started doing it on this side, so I'm almost there with this one. And I have to say that when you're talking about a Bowie like this, a big, giant, old Western style cowboy fighting knife, right? You expect it to look weathered and old. You don't want this big, shiny blade. You want something that looks like it just came out of the frontier. It looks like it just dug into the spine of a bear or something. That's what you want. You want that, that absolute Jim Bowie just fought at the sandbar looking blade. And that's what this looks like. I think that doing that, it almost looks like a Himon, or even almost Sand Maish. Um, I love it. You know what I mean? I think that making that edge dark like that just came out crazy, crazy cool. And it gave it a really, really, really nice effect. And when you're talking about a blade that's supposed to be big and rugged, and it comes with this big brown sheath, when I pull this out, it looks like it came out of the 1800s. This doesn't look, as it sits, this doesn't look like a blade I picked up in 2018. This looks like it was, 18. You know what I mean? 1873. That's what this thing looks like. It is just a beast of a blade as it is. And now it looks like it's a bend through the trenches, you know what I mean? Original looking 1800s Bowie. And we all know it's not. I bought this thing this year. But look at how cool that effect is on the edge. It just, if that doesn't say San Mai, you know what I mean? It looks like it's been folded over and banged. It's not. It's just color. It's just color. And it looks cool. So, I could, go over it again and make it darker and try to get it smoother and more complete like the Roper. But honestly, I'm feeling it the way it is. I'm feeling it. I went over the spine. That looks good, but something about that edge, man, that's cool, guys. That's really, really cool. You look at that and it looks like a museum piece now. It looks like something that you just saw at the Alamo. And I'm serious. Check out my video. It looks like something you would see at the Alamo. It looks like it was unearthed. It was been down somewhere for 150 years on some cowboy's grave, and it was just found. You know what I mean? And it's like, holy mackerel, it's just so cool. So, this stuff right here, the Super Blue, it's by Birchwood Casey. It works. It works, and it's really easy. All you do is you wet some cotton, or you wet a rag, you put it on there, and in no time at all, you have a blued blade. That one is partially blued as I have it now. This one, you don't get much more blued than that. And that's not black paint, so it's not going to scratch off. This is blued. You know what I mean? This is going to have the same wear as your handgun. You know what I mean? Any blued pistol you have, any revolver, whatever, anything that's blued, this is going to have that kind of wear. And I like that. I like that. I think this is, I don't use the word sharp. Unless I'm talking about an edge or Donnie B all day, YouTube sharpest reviewer, knife reviewer. That's the only time I use the word sharp. But this is sharp. This is just sharp looking. You know what I mean? It's classy, almost tuxedo black, just cool. So the stuff works. You can blue knife. I just did a couple knives that I actually love, a couple knives that I actually use. This one I use all the time. The Roper is just a great, great knife. And tell you what, it just looks really, really classy like that. So if you have an old knife that's kind of got cruddy-duddy and you want to fix it, get some really, really fine sandpaper, some 2000 grit, and just clean off all those oxidated areas, and then blue it. You know where I picked this up too? I picked this up at Dick's, off the shelf at Dick's. Which is cool, but you can order it. It's like $10 a bottle. And, man, gotta say, the stuff works. So, that's it. That's all for now. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next video.